All right, so getting back at this project here, I'm gonna go to the town and get the parts I need for the engine, but I also want to get some of the other parts if I want to do the steering. I think I'm gonna clean it all up in here in the engine area. It's, pretty crappy. I'm gonna have to get a new oil and filter for it because it looks like it probably got gas in it, I'm thinking, because that doesn't look very oily. It's way too thin. I don't smell gas in it, but it smells like oil, but I don't want to take the chances. If I get the carb rebuilt, then it shouldn't do that anymore, but I'll still turn the fuel off when I'm done with it. So I want to try and get I did one of these before. I'm going to try and get the plate out of this because the axle has a lot. You see this? So there's wear there, and then I'm gonna try and get this plate out. So I'm gonna get at that. So the first thing is this has to come out. I'll have to see what sizes these are. All right, 3/8 for this. This side is a screwdriver head. So I'm gonna have to get this guy out of here. I should probably turn it with a screwdriver first. It might actually turn out of there, but I think it's just a shaft that goes through, but really, wow. I think I had a problem on the other one too. I'm gonna put the nut on and pound it a little bit. I thought maybe turning it would loosen it up, but she's tight. First I'll try pounding it. I put the nut on so I don't hurt the threads. All right, she's going. All right, I just used the punch and just punched her out. Hopefully the nut goes on. If it doesn't, I'll just have to file it a little bit, but yeah, it goes on. This is actually splined. Probably why it comes out so hard. Let's see if the wheel will come off. All right. Yeah, look at that. The bearings are out. If I remember right from the other one, I'm gonna have a bunch of stuff I gotta take off here. All right, so let's do fuel tank, I think. Okay. Yeah, because this cable for the throttle comes right through here. I think I'll be able to see where the clamp was on the throttle to know where to put it again. Yeah, I'll be able to see where that was. Indeed. Indeed I will. All right. Now I'll get these out. All right, took this out. And same thing on the other side. Same thing. Get this off of here. And here's the fuel line. So this should be able to. No, not yet. 2 screws there. I need a Phillips. She's gonna get real loose soon. Alright, there's that. Fuel tank should be able to come off. So now what you're left with is, it looks like that bottom bearing is out, probably. I'm trying to get this done before the store closes. Okay, I'm gonna take these snap rings off here. The snap ring, cotter pin here. But in here you can see how the steering works. There's a gear in the bottom of this, and then it drives that. It's basically a rack and pinion. Alright, let's do the snap ring now. Then a washer. A washer. And we'll do this, and then there's going to be, I think it's 4 bolts on the bottom. And take this off. This must have changed too, because this I think is metal on the yellow decks. This is plastic, looks like, yeah. All right, took the cotter pin out. Looks like there's a washer there. A washer. Two of them. 2 washers. 3 washers. Maybe even 4. Must be shims. Keep them separate. Boom! Okay, you're gonna have 4 bolts total. 1 here, same on the other side, here and there. There's a nut on the bottom, but I was able to hold it just with my hand. Let's see here.
"20 minutes later." One hour later. Several days later.
I'm out of there now. The pinion's probably on the deck. Yeah. I can put the deck down, I suppose, a little bit. Doesn't really matter. It only moves the back. That can come out with it, so try pulling it up. If it clears the other one. What do we got going on here? Boy, sometimes jobs turn into much bigger things. I took the deck off, and now I got the tie rods disconnected. It's right here. And that's just a cotter pin. So there should be not a whole lot left. Hold it. Okay, so this guy came out from underneath. So there's probably gonna be 2 bushings here. There and there. Let's see if this guy will come over here. There we go. This guy I'll drop down in the bottom and clean him up. Let's show you here. Ew. Getting everything dirty here. Let's take a look at this thing once. Yeah, so there's the bushings you can take out, but now this is in a plastic housing, so it's gonna be a little bit more difficult. Well, let's see here once. What am I doing? Okay, it goes in this one. Like that. Bottom one's got a lot of play. Right here you can see it. So that one's pretty wore, and that'd be the one that would wear more. Possibly grab more stuff than that. Okay, so this one's gonna go in like this. There's very little play on that one. I don't think it would even pay to monkey with it. Probably just this one. Then grease it, putting it back together. It just turns like this. It's actually not wore too bad. Oh yeah, there's a fair amount of wear on it, but I guess I'll grease it when I put it back together, and with that fixed, that should take some of the slop out of it, and shouldn't go years yet. So in order to get that out, I don't like the fact that it's in plastic. Just a little pounding with this rod here. It's kind of felt for it till it was on the lip, and hit her with a hammer, and she came right out. I mean, maybe I should just get 4 of them if I can find them, you know. Okay, they got a metal bushing in there, so that's good. A sleeve. They still cheapen the design up a lot, because that one over there is metal. Or aluminum, I think, actually. Now the other part of the steering is this axle. So I'm gonna get the jack and I'm gonna jack this up and get this guy out of here. Then I'll see what I can find for new ones. The hardware store. It's probably, I think I put a bolt in the last one, just a new bolt. And maybe I drilled it too bigger. I don't know what I did. I don't remember. Alright, this is another one of them stupid jobs where you got 5/8 on one side and 11/16 on the back. So it makes you get up a bunch of times to get the job done. So let's see if I can get this bolt out now. Okay, and there's a grease mark in there. So where is it going to be wore is the question. Why is everything so difficult?
Day 2. Day 3. Day 4. Okay, so I think on the other one, so the bolt wore here. Let me show you. It's a greasy pig too. So you see the plays in here. Can you even see? Don't think so. See, the play's in here, but it shouldn't be in there because this is a bushing right here that should turn in the axle housing. But when you have city boys that don't own a grease gun, there's a grease zerk right here. So that should turn in there, and then it wouldn't wear there. So if you make this bushing a little bit longer than the housing here, this part, then you can tighten this bolt up really tight and force this to have to turn where it is, because it probably stopped turning because it wasn't getting greased. And it looks like it's got some grease on it, but it's probably old stuff where somebody greased it after it locked up already. And maybe it was longer. It probably was at one time. Maybe I should pop it out of there and see if I can get, if they'd have something like that at a hardware store, that I could just make a longer one. I'd rather not grind this at all. It probably wore already. Smaller. Now we're on wheels. Now we'll roll away everywhere. Yeah, see, she's stuck in there pretty good. And it should come right out, so that tells you right there that it's not been greased. Alright, I got too much stuff that is bouncing. I'm gonna try something else. Does anything ever like just cooperate? Ever? Goddamn tie rods. Could suck my balls. Okay. So let's try and get something more sturdy here. Alright, let's try the other way once. Because wow, that thing is... My God. Let's get some penetrating oil in there and get that working. Do I need to take it off the tires? Because my God, all it wants to do is roll away and fight me. I should probably find a socket that would fit in there. Or something. Is it any wonder why it stopped hurting? My God. All right, I'll keep working on that. All right, here we go. There it is. Do you see the rust on it? That is why that happens. People don't grease things and then bad things happen. So if that stops turning, then it's got to turn in the bolt. Then it wears the frame. Alright, so here's the original one. And here is what the hardware store had. It's 3/4 inside by 1 inch outside. It's supposed to be 1.25 inches here, I'm thinking, and then it's 1 inch, I believe, from here to here. Well, that's what the new one is here. It's a little bit bigger. The ones that you have to, the ones that are important, I don't know if I've explained this in the store, but the ones that are important are this one to match the shaft size. So like this. And I can always take a little bit off of here. That's the thing. Just polish it up a little bit. Did you even see that? And then the outside here, because it has to fit into here. You know, it has to fit inside here. And it's pretty close. And again, I can always take a little bit off the outside. Well, the 3/4 one, the one that was 3/4 long, had a smaller lip here. I think it was smaller than the original one here. And then it was actually a little bit smaller, probably a little bit. It probably ain't gonna hurt anything. But this one being a little bit bigger is beefier. So it should last longer. And it ain't gonna make any difference here. Let's see, there's a, looks like there'd probably be a pin here. And then it'll be a little bit further here. It'll actually give it more surface area. And I think this will go longer. I mean, it's not perfect, but this you can see has wear on it. But I am gonna grease it when I put it back together, so that'll help with that. I could not find one of these. They could have ordered one at the John Deere place, but I think I'm gonna use this one. Okay, so since I got 4 bushings, I'm just gonna take the old ones out here. I really don't want the plastic to break, but it seems to be decent. What can I put on there? How about a socket? I'll just put the old one on it for right now. The hell with it. Alright, that one's out. Just one more. Don't worry if you can't see what I'm doing, because I can't either. Alright, they're all out. Now will the new ones fit in there? Well, they'll probably have to have a little bit taken off of them. And these are softer than the originals. The originals are steel. So these will wear more than the shaft, which is a good thing. You can always replace these again. But the chances of these need to be being replaced again in like 30 years The machine's probably gonna be long gone by then. That's the way I see it. So I got a lot of cleaning to do. Alright, so here's what I did. This one is the one that's really wore. I'm just gonna replace one of them. The one that was really wore, which is down here. I'm leaving a metal one there because that's where it wore. So that's probably where the most pressure is. It's the bottom of the shaft. So I got this one. I had to grind it down a little bit here so it would match the same thickness here as the old ones. It's a little bit longer, but that ain't gonna matter. And then it fits in the inside. So that'll work for that. And I'll be greasing them when I put it together, so it won't be an issue. So the one that is really wore is the one I won't use. The other ones, because I had to do so much grinding, I had to grind this down. I had to grind the outside about 15 thousandths smaller. So this is like right at an inch. This is 985 right here, so it fit in here. I didn't want to force it too much because this is plastic. So that's what we got going on there. So I'm gonna put the two good ones back in, and then we're gonna go from there. All right, as you can see, I did a lot of cleaning on it, on the bottom, all over the place, on the engine a lot. And they're a lot cleaner, so I can put it together clean. So, I got all the bushings in here, so let's put them back on. Now, this black plate ended up where? The bolt's on here. I gotta find him. Alright, so I don't have the bolts in tight. There's 4 bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4th one is right there. I can't find the nut for it, so I'm gonna throw it in there. I'm gonna look for I think it's a 3/8 nut. And I'll find it here in this mess. And I'll swap it out. But I got this. This should be going in here. So I got it. It's probably a little tighter fit than I want. I could hit it with sandpaper again and hit this a little bit too. Here's what I'm doing for that. All this is a rod with a slot in it, just a aluminum rod with a slot that was from a hacksaw or a quarter power or whatever. You just put your, I can't do this with one hand. Put your sandpaper in it like this, and then wrap her up. And then when the outside gets bad, you just rip them off, and then it's good to go again. Pretty simple thing for reaming stuff out and sanding like that. That's probably gonna be good. I'm gonna grease her up, and then I'll maybe sand this a little bit too, because there was some goo on there. The problem is, oh, here's that plate. It was just down here. The problem is getting that thing back up there. There's a belt and a spring right there. Spring. So I'm gonna have to probably fish it through like this. I'll just move the belt out of the way, I think. I think it goes right in here, the spring and the belt, I believe. And your tie rods mount here. So I'm gonna grease this too, because why not? The first thing is I'm gonna grease this up. All right, I got grease on it. I've greased bushings too. So I'm gonna try and work it up there and see how crappy that is. It's probably not gonna be easy. All right, let's see if we can get her up there. Without getting the belt too greasy and stuff.
This is gonna be fun. I can see it. Alright, I'm gonna try and get that in there and I'll be back. Alright, my memory card filled up here. So I was able to fish it in there. You just kinda get it between the belt and the spring. Kinda tip it, get it one way, turn it, and it should go right in. This is easier to do than trying to get it up from on the bottom. So that tells me that when you take it apart, do it that way. Unbolt it and you can take the tie rods off and you can come up this way with it whole and then take it apart after. Alright, so I'll put this stuff back in. Get that rack goes right inside right through the end of the pod here. Pretty neat. Alright, well that's a fine thread nut, so I don't have that, so I'm gonna tighten the 3 and keep going, and I'll leave the other one out. When I find that nut, I'll throw her in. For getting that far one in there, that bolt, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use a bendable magnet and then just set it in. Pretty easy. Alright, I'm going to tighten the 3 that I can and then go from there. Alright, I got to figure out how that went again. This fuel line is probably somewhat old. Probably could use a new one, but I'm not going to worry about it because I don't want to worry about it right now. We deal with that when something happens to it. Alright, so this is going to go through here. Well, I thought, right? I might not be able to expose. Oh yeah, I can still get to that screw. I'm not going to refund the steering until I get that bolt in there tight, but because it's just plastic, but for now it'll be even hooked up. Okay. Oh, this was in here, but that can all be done later. So this is gonna go on. That, and that's going to be fun to get on there. Alright, so these guys are 7/16. No, I think they're like 10 millimeter or something. Why would they do that? That is stupid. I'll only use this to speed it up going in. I don't like to let her snap. Since, well there it did, but since it's only in plastic, but that ain't gonna, one snap ain't gonna hurt her. Then I like to tighten it up with this. I'm just using 2 fingers. It's just plastic on plastic here, so. Alright, I'll do the other side. Now for these, I'm only using the screw gun here for speeding it up a little bit. And I'll put it in tight with the screwdriver so I can feel how much it's doing. So I'll do those 2 over here. And then there's 2 left up here. Alright, now I'll finish it with the screwdriver. so I don't over torque it. These are going into those little sheet metal inserts. These are just plastic, going into plastic on the sides. So you don't want to over tighten, or you're just gonna strip it. You have to put a nut or something, but you can't get a nut in the back there. That is done. I can put the steering wheel on now. I believe. Now for that, the clock position doesn't matter as far as the bottom part, but it does for the top part because you'd want it straight when you're going straight, I believe. So I should have clocked this before I did this, but let's see here. Somewhere around there. That was this thing. It's gonna have to be pounded in there. In here. Fill the nut and the washer on. And then I'll let it tighten up tight. This should bring it right in until it's tight. Holy shit. And there, she feels like she's tight. There, I think that is on. And that part's complete. So now it's gonna be axle. All right, now I'll do the governor here, or well, hooking up the throttle to the governor. Throttle assembly, whatever you want to say. So since there is a mark on here where it was, that's about where I'm going to put it. (5/16) it is. Don't have to be super tight. Okay, as far as that goes, I am gonna probably quit there, at least on this part of it, because I'm wondering if I get an axle for this, whatever you want to call it, the pin. This is from me pounding it out, and it would still work. But I was gonna grind that down a little bit, like say a 16th, so this is longer. But I wonder if I shouldn't just get a new one of these, because it might have wore that much. And it might be that I get a new one and it's identical in length. I don't know, but it would be in better condition than this. So I think I'm gonna do that. I'll probably just move this thing the way it is. I do want to clean this area up, and maybe I can find that nut. Hey, I found the nut for this housing here. I was going to turn the deck over, and it was staring at me in the face. So I found that, I put it on. Let's just take a look at this deck quick. See how it is. It's not bad, I've seen worse. Blades look pretty good too. I'll probably clean this up, oil it, take the blades off, sharpen them. And the spindles are greasable, and they don't feel like they have play in them, so I'll do that up too.